Greetings, private practitioners and private practice owners. This is Private Practice, and it's Jo, and it's now 5:20 p.m. on Tuesday the 4th of July. Felt like a glass of wine today. Hasn't been a bad day, hasn't been a particularly good day, it's just been a day. And guess what? I'm allowed to have a drink of wine because I can. Nobody says I can't. I have to cook dinner tonight. It's my turn. I don't know about you, but after I've been at work all day, there are just some things I don't want to do. Cooking dinner for my husband and my son, that would be one of them. Not a fan. I usually love cooking and preparing food, but I love to have the time to do it, and I like to have energy to do it, and I like to feel creative and spontaneous. And after a day of details and work stuff, I just don't have it in me. I know you're not all like that. That's just a little bit about me. So today, like I said, it's just today. Given the changes that we had in the business last week with Sophie coming on board, Natalie leaving, my workday kind of finishes around 5 o'clock now, whereas Natalie would start later and finish later. And because the business operates from my home, I always felt like I needed to be at work when everyone else was at work. So it kind of gets to 4:30 in the afternoon because Sophie's an early morning person and she wants to come in a little earlier. So I'm kind of like, oh, we can finish now. So I kind of feel like I've got this whole 90 minutes back in my world. And I tell you what, that's actually been really useful for me. I'm getting through a lot more detailed stuff, and it's a dedicated time in my day where I can churn through some of those emails. Oh my God, I end up with so many emails in my inbox. Sorry, Katie and Kate, I haven't been ignoring you. I know your email's there. You should have. I responded to it before I did this this recording for you today. Who's Katie and Kate? That's about the Private Practice Startup podcast. They've asked me to come on and do an interview, and I'm going to be interviewed, and I'm going to be talking about the stuff that I love, which is about you and your market and how to talk to your market in a way that they can understand you. So I've come up with a couple of different titles. Going to let Katie and Kate choose it because it's their podcast, and I don't want to turn it into the Jo Muirhead show. Although I have had people ask me to create that. Not enough time in the days, people, just not enough time in the days. So it was end of month last week. So what was awesome about today is the second working day of the working week is we've had all of our invoicing for the end of month done last week. So the way most of my practice works is we work for a month and then we invoice and then we work for a month. So we're always at least a month in arrears, except at the moment when the people who are supposed to pay us are holding on to our money for reasons I don't understand, and we're a couple of months in arrears. Hence why we might need a glass of wine today. So I'm all for the cash flow to start a flowing. It's okay, it'll happen. It just does. If you're doing the work and you're doing good work and you've got good systems in place, you know the cash flow will come. That's pretty cool. I've been blogging a bit today. I need to let you in on a secret. Guess how many clinical clients I have at the moment? How many rehab clients? You ready? You ready for this number? 2. 2 clinical clients. And I can tell you that I will sometimes not keep my notes up to date. Ha ha! Blog post about that coming out this week. So just over 12 months ago, I had nearly 28. Well, I probably had 28, nearly 30. And I felt like it was my job to do all the billing and generate all the cash in the business. Hands up if you know that is the best way to make yourself sick, the best way to make you fit into your grumpy pants, and the best way for your ego to take a battering when you just can't do everything. There has got to come a point, private practice owner, I love you dearly, when you've got to make a decision about how much clinical work you want to do. I grew a group practice, didn't realize that that's what was going to happen, but it worked for me, and it worked really well for me. And now I treat my clinicians like they're my clinical load. I want to support them and love them and nurture them and resource them and share with them. So I want to make sure that they're getting the time and attention and development that I can give them. I can't do that when I've got a lot of other people who need my time and attention. It's also really important to understand that as your business grows and whether you decide to become more based in information products or book products rather than building a group practice, the amount of time that it takes to actually do your marketing and your managing changes. So if it's just you're doing the marketing and you're doing the delivery, then you might need a VA. But as soon as you start adding other clinicians to the mix or other resources to the mix or other websites to the mix, it gets to the point where you need a little bit of support. We don't all need the same support. Some people are really awesome at all the technology stuff. I'm not one of them. But I am awesome at the people stuff and getting people organized and working out what is the barrier and how we're going to fix it and holding people accountable to that. So isn't it fantastic that we all have different strengths and different skill sets and we can all work together to create a better world? Not trying to be pie in the sky, but you know, I really do believe that. And I was writing about it today, that if we influence one person for good and help them to empower change, then we're on our way to influencing the city they live in, the community they live in. And the more people we influence for good and the more change that we can see, then this is the whole rise of grassroots. It's how change happens. It's how revolutions happen. And I think we've all had enough of top-down leadership that isn't inclusive, that doesn't lead the world to become accessible for us. And we've all seen the rise of social media and things going viral and how change is made. So we had enough arguments, discussions, media interest in our telco situation that actually started this whole video series. So we've got this national broadband network here in Australia. It's awesome outdated technology that hasn't even been implemented across the nation yet. Woohoo! But we weren't even on the rollout. We weren't even going to get it. And I don't live in the middle of whoop whoop, in the middle of nowhere. I live 80 kilometers west of one of the most populous cities in this country. But we weren't on the map. Who knows why not? Well, I know why. It's because they haven't got enough infrastructure in the streets. But But because of the complaints and because enough people got involved and media got involved and a few of us were on the Facebook, Twitter and Instagram profiles letting them know how unhappy we were, we're actually now getting better services. Doesn't mean my telco situation is going to change. I'm still really, really cranky with what we've had to put up with. But that's how change happens these days. If we sit around and wait for someone else to do it for us, nothing is going to happen. So now more than ever, that quote, I have no idea who said it, be the change you want to see in the world. Now more than ever, that is true. We have so much voice, so we can use it for good, to build people up, to encourage people, to help people, empower people, help people go through a transformative process. So just be careful with your words. Careful with your words. We don't want any cutting. So private practice today was a lot of management. I was working with my fabulous, awesome, wonderful private practice building clients and putting together some plans for them on how we're going to work together over the next few months and really making sure that we're targeting and pinpointing the growth tactics that they need in their business and what it is that's going wrong and how we need to, clean out some of the foundations that are a bit flaky and help build them stronger and creating that really powerful position for growth. We've got a new blog post going out tomorrow, so I got over my angst of yesterday's videos. Didn't do any video recording today, but yeah, it's been a fun day. Hasn't been extraordinary, hasn't been horrible, it's just been a day. And you know what? When it's all said and done, I reckon they're the best kind of days because I know I get to wake up and do this again tomorrow. So this is Private Practice, wishing you a happy Tuesday. Looking forward to chatting to you all again tomorrow, when it will be Wednesday.